We're back with Matt's Top 3, the show where I attempt to complete 3 of my top life goals. And today, we're taking on 2 huge projects. So after I had dove through the trunk, I decided that I wanted to continue working on the interior. Since I had only gotten bits and pieces out of the Mustang, I decided that it was time to get the carpets out. Now, I tried to start this by taking out the seatbelts, but these things were stuck. So I decided that the best course of action was just using an X-Acto knife to cut around the areas I could pull out. And after not even 2 minutes of doing this, I got a whiff of something terrible, so I picked up some masks. People were telling me to pick these up, and I can really understand why. So I hopped right back inside the car, while using the X-Acto knife to cut around the areas I couldn't just tear out. Now I had managed to get the driver's side carpets pushed over the halfway part of the interior, but I couldn't do any more unless I got the passenger seat out. But by some miracle, after whatever I had done the other day, it just decided to pop right out. So I added it to the tarp pile and kept working on the passenger side, while continuing to cut out any rough bits that were getting in my way. Now I had split the carpets into several garbage bags because all of it wouldn't fit inside of one. But after getting them all out, the car was looking a lot better. Relatively. I mean, outside of the fact that I'm going to be Flintstoning this thing. Anyway, getting the carpets out was just something that I had to do, alongside one other project. See, when I bought the Mustang, I ended up taking the engine from the inside and putting it in my truck bed. But because I didn't have anything to hold it down, it had been just kind of jumping around back there. And this was becoming really unsafe, so I decided to take it apart. So I grabbed my toolbox and got to work, hoping that none of the bolts were going to be on too tight to get off. But luckily, my mix-match toolbox that my coworker lent me had just the right sizes. So I started at the top of the engine with the air intake. And after getting it out, found an extremely gross underside. So I took a second just to try to clean it out before I moved on. I moved on to the valve heads next, which were kind of annoying because I didn't necessarily have the wrong tools, but I didn't have the right ones either. After a lot of elbow grease, I was able to get them off, but this took just around an hour. But this was the first time I was actually seeing the pistons of the engine. So my first instinct was to just try to turn the engine over, but obviously this thing was going to be locked up. So I decided to focus on what I could control and flip the engine over into a tire so that I could get the oil pan out. Now, although this was doable, I've learned very quickly that having the right set of tools makes these jobs go by a lot quicker. But with the oil pan off, I finally had the entire engine disassembled. So I packed up the engine because we got to take a road trip.